Hello folks, friends, viewers, countrymen. I've got questions in the past, over time, many times actually, about how I actually plan my trips. And local trips are just finding some place I can drive to and spend the night. But long trips, like I'm going up to Michigan, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and I'm going to go out to Quartzsite and out west next January, February. So I thought I'd show you how I do these long trips, because I've seen people do infomercials on Campendium and Parky and free sites and all that stuff, and you know, it's not the easiest way, and most of those places somehow cost money, you're going to cost you money. So this is how I do it. It's pretty cheap, it's pretty easy, and so let's go to the computer and I'll show you how this works. So this is my map, my Google map, and it's just a regular, go to Google and you go to Maps, and it has all the places I've been and all the places I want to go. And let's start the trip from my home, Statesville, North Carolina. Alright, this is where I live, in the Piedmont of North Carolina. And we're gonna, let's say we're gonna go to the upper peninsula of Michigan. Now when I see a video of somebody, of someplace, I mark all the spots that I think are pretty interesting. So these are all marked on here, the places I want to go. You know, it may not be perfect, but it's if I'm traveling in that area, I'm going to try to swing by these areas. So it's not necessarily where I'm going to end up, but it's helpful. So now we go to this and we say, let's get directions. And we'll get directions from Statesville, North Carolina. And it'll find me a couple of routes. Now, the fastest route is right through Detroit in a lot of construction zones. And it's, of course, it's mostly interstate highways, which I don't like to go through. So this is the western route. Sorry for all these labels popping up, but the western route goes on the western side of the Great Lakes, and it actually goes near Oshkosh. And this was where I originally were going to go, because Oshkosh in August has a phenomenal air show. I really wanted to go over and then go on the SS Badger across Lake Michigan and over to here on the other side, and that's about $300 just that ride. So I decided not to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up, we decided that we want to go up the east shore of Michigan because it's a little nicer, a lot of things to see and do. There's the Great Bear Dunes, to cross the Mackinac Bridge. So we wanted to go up that side. So the next thing I do is I decide that I want to go about 200 to 300 miles max on each day. So, and I don't like interstates. So this starts off on Interstate 77 right there, and I don't like interstates. So I know a little bit that I can go off. What if we go over here to Creation Falls and Comer Ridge Campground? I've been to Comer Ridge, it's beautiful. And if we insert this, if I add Comer Ridge Campground, and I take out the upper peninsula for now, and from Statesville to Comer Ridge, That's 5 hours, so that's a pretty long way. So what else is in here that I might be able to stop at? Well, if we zoom in, these dark green spots, they're often national forests or we're in Virginia, and the national forest in Virginia, if you move around here, you'll find somewhere, here we go, George Washington and Jefferson National Forest. So that's what this is down here. All the national forest in Virginia is George Washington and Jefferson. So if we go to George Washington and Jefferson and click on that, it brings up information on George Washington and Jefferson. And I come down a little bit, you gotta scroll down, and it gives you an address for the Forest Service, the United States Department of Agriculture.gov. And if you click on that, it takes you to George Washington and Jefferson National Forest webpage. And if you click on Recreation Guide, and then click on Camping, all these other things are available if you want to do something else in those areas. But let's click on Camping because we're looking for an overnight stay and go. It gives us an option of cabin rentals, campground camping, dispersed camping, and dispersed camping is usually free. Group camping, which is for large groups or horses and things like that. And then at the very bottom is RV camping. Now RV camping means there's hookups. So we don't necessarily want to do that. We want campground camping because that includes RV camping, but it also includes first come, first served campgrounds. So let's click on that. And it shows you all the different areas of the George Washington and Jefferson National Forest, all these areas. And we're going to be way down below 77. Here's 77. So we're going to be way down below that. We want to go over here through Kentucky. West Virginia is a little too mountainous and a little too limited in highways. So let's go through Kentucky. It's a little flatter, a little more built up. Got many more good highways. Their senator used to be in charge of the budget. So they have a lot of stuff. Kentucky has stuff that nobody else has. So if we look through this, what's the bottom? The bottom here is the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area. So let's look in the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area. Way down at the bottom. And what is here? Now Bear Tree Recreation Area, we've been there, that's a nice place. Comer's Rock Recreation Area. Hurricane Campground, we've stayed there. And Raccoon Campground, they were closed last I was there. Stony Fork, we've stayed there. Stony Fork's not quite far enough. Though Stony Fork's pretty good. Let's see what it says on Stony Fork. And we can see that site is open April 19th. And it says campground reservation information on recreation.gov. So let's go to recreation.gov and see what it says. And recreation, a lot of people just go directly to recreation.gov, but they do not have first come, first served campgrounds on here. So we'll look at the season, because we're going late in September, October. The season closes for Stony Fork on November 23rd, so that's pretty late. So we could stay there. So let's go back to our map, and we can get rid of this because we got to that website and found it out. How far is it to Stony Fork? Stony Fork Campground. We can get rid of this one, so we'd only go in between those two. And that's an hour and 43 minutes. That's not really very long. We want to go more than an hour a day. Okay, we were in the Mount Rogers National Recreation Area. So looking back at the map, this is all Mount Rogers, all this dark green. Let's go way over here to the Clinch. Let's go to the first one, Bark Camp. And that says it's temporarily closed due to water pump replacement. Bark Camp, Cane Patch. And that's temporarily closed. So we gotta go down to Cave Springs Recreation Area. Go to that, and that's temporarily closed. Ooh, we're hitting them all by end. High Knob Recreation Area, I believe that's closed. That is open. $10 campsites. $5 per vehicle up to 8 passengers. Open May to September. 16-foot maximum vehicle length. So that's a pretty small place. Although they have hot showers and flush toilets. So it doesn't look like anything there is going to make us happy. So let's go back to our map. And if we go a little farther west, this here area, which has a flag on it, someplace I might want to go. Oh, that's still Virginia. We want to go even farther west than that. Go over here, Daniel Boone National Forest. Let's try that. What's in the Daniel Boone National Forest? Again, we go to the USDA Gov website and it takes us to Daniel Boone National Forest. Do the same thing, recreation guide. Camping and cabins, go. Again, we're going to go campground camping. And that's going to give us all the places that are there. Now there's Cave Run, 29, Zip Block, Red River Gorge, and Comer Ridge. We might try Comer Ridge. We've been to Comer Ridge. Comer Ridge Campground. How far is that? Get rid of this. That's 5 hours and 40 minutes. That means it's probably more than 6 hours. Okay, when I find it hard to find a federal park to camp in, we didn't really look at recreation.gov yet. We'll do that in a minute. But as you may know, every state has a state park system to find campgrounds. So I want to be in this little section of Virginia or Kentucky. So let's go to Virginia and see what state parks they have. And most of them have some kind of a map. Camping and lodging for Virginia. Let's go to map view. We've got all these parks near the ridiculousness of the east. So let's go over to the west. And here's the last park to the west. Oh, there's Wilderness Road State Park. But there's Natural Tunnel State Park. That sounds kind of interesting. So let's click on that and see what's the story there. They have a nice campground with, but they're $35 a night. So let's see what's available. And they have a lot of availability. And they have a nice, easy map to find. So we'll pick a site. Let's go to this. Let's go to the other site. And let's try this one. It's on the end of a loop. So let's try, what's this one look like? Oh, this is kind of nice. Doesn't seem to be anybody here. Might even be a hill there. Yep, there's a hill there. Nobody over there. Trees and stuff over here. Might be good for Aquila. So let's reserve that. $35 a night. So we'll book that. And when we get to the pay by, we've booked this for our trip to Michigan already. so you don't have to watch that. But the total price, once you get the thing, is there's a $5 reservation fee. For non-residents, it goes up to $40. It's not $35. And they charge you tax. Total price is $47.12, which is almost $50. Now, the campground we wanted to stay at was $12, and it had electricity. We've booked this because it's halfway between, it's only 3 hours away. So we like that travel distance. But now we go back to our map, and again, we're going to Natural Tunnel State Park from Statesville, North Carolina. And it's a nice route through the mountains. It's not on the interstate. There's an option for the interstate, but we don't want the interstate. And one of the things you can do with this, which I do occasionally, is you can stay off highways and stay off toll roads, and you're going to see a lot more stuff. I mean, you're on a vacation. I understand if you're trying to get somewhere, like I was trying to get to a wedding. When I went to the wedding, the route I took was faster than the interstates. Some of the U.S. highways, especially some of the ones that they're changing into interstate highways, like here is Interstate Highway 26 coming out of Asheville. And this used to be U.S. Highway 23. In fact, when it goes into Kentucky over here, I think it becomes, Interstate Highway 20 or U.S. Highway 23. And they've just changed it to Interstate Highway 26 because it's such a good road. And some of these U.S. highways are phenomenally good roads. Now, some of them are not the best, and up in the Northeast, some of them have very low bridges. From there, we're going to Comer Ridge Campground, which is a first come, first serve, so we don't have to worry about any of that. And it's taken a nice, easy route, and I think I would just as soon take the U.S. highways versus these little mountain roads that have numbers on them. So let's go that way, but it doesn't really matter because we're not really leaving right now. We're just taking numbers. So that's 147, 3 hours to get to our next site. So that's a nice, easy day, nice 3 hours of traveling, and actually it'll be 4.5 because we're going to stop along the way and look at things and get something to eat and stretch and stuff like that. And then when we get here, we'll have time to walk around and see the campground and talk to people and do what we want to do there. Now, the next campground we want to go to, I did the same thing I did before. I found the Hoosier National Forest, and I said, okay, Hoosier National Forest, tell me what camping you've got. And it's camping. Go. And the one we've picked, we looked at all these, and we've picked Hardin Ridge. So they said for reservations, and this is recreation.gov, and this is for Hardin Ridge. And now recreation.gov, you can look anywhere. You can put in, let's say, Chicago. You want to camp near Chicago, and it'll give you a listing of all sorts of campgrounds. And the one that we picked where we're going to is this Indiana Dunes. But you can see it also gives you stuff. You got to go up to filters, and in the filters you want to put in camping so you don't get all that other junk. Okay, and then there's only 3 results. One's a group site. There's Dunewood Campground, which is what we're going to use. And then there's Central Ave walk-in sites, which are in the town of Pines, Indiana. So they're all in the same spot. And the prices are here. Not a whole lot. Now, I'm over 62, so I get this for 50% off. But
Sometimes it's not, especially if these are run by concessionaires. They don't give you 50% off. They'll tell you that the campsite is $20 a night and electricity is $5 a night. Or view the reservation, and I'm paying for 2 nights $50 is the normal camp fee, and I get it for half price, so it's $25. Now notice this: there's no taxes, there's no reservation fee, there's no extra fees, and this is reservation.gov. About 50% have no reservation fee. Okay, this is Bayview up in the UP. Because these are up in the UP, they're far enough away from the government, they don't want to deal with them. So they do have a reservation fee of $8. The camping fee is $44. I get $22 off, half price. Total is $52, minus the $22 is $30. So it's, you know, it's not really 50% clean. And I'm only staying there 2 nights, I guess. If you're interested in RV sites, you really have to go to recreation.gov. Most of the RV water dump station electric sites are on recreation.gov, although not all of them. If you look at the national forest places like this, we did before, we go back here and go to RV camping. You see they've got a lot of them here. Let's see if this goes to. Yeah, these are reservations online. So they're on recreation.gov. That's where we're going next. We're going to Harding Ridge. So once I start accumulating, once I get my route pretty clear and I've got a reservation, or I've got it pretty sure that that's going to be where I want it. It's the right distance from home. It's the right distance to the next place. So I've got it lined up. Then I start building a spreadsheet. Let me blow this up a little bit. You know, I got Natural Tunnel State Park, where it is, what date we're going to be there. We've got these in here, and I make note that I've got a reservation, what the site is, what the amenities are, and then I've got over here the mileage, the distance in miles. This is the miles, and this is how long it should take me to get there by Google, which I know it's going to be about an hour more than that. And then I make a note for you guys that are watching this video how much these are, and it's $40 per night plus, was it 5? It was just 5 plus tax. So that actual cost of this reservation for me is $47.12. All right, now Comer Ridge, this one here is a first come first serve. So I can't reserve a site. It does have showers and there's water available, and I'm going to be there the 15th and the 16th, so I'm going to be there 2 nights. It's going to be $20 a night regular price, but it's $15 with my pass. It's maintained by Vista, which is a concessionaire that takes care of federal campsites. And then we go back to Harding Recreation for 2 nights, and that's off recreation.gov. And it's got electric showers and water, and it's 214 miles, so it's quite a ways, and it's 4.5 hours. I usually figure 50 miles an hour, so 200 is 4 hours. So this is what I do, and this is my entire itinerary. Every day where I'm going, all the places I want to do. And these blue ones here are emergencies. These are places I go if something happens to the campground I'm in. So that's my spreadsheet, and this is the route, the trip home, which the trip home is always kind of up in the air. I'm always willing to stay a little longer or cancel some of these so that I can really see things. And one of the problems I'm having with this trip is a lot of the campgrounds close in October. This one that we're planning on staying in, Silva Lake Campground, closes September 30th. Okay, so this is the trip to the eclipse. We were just getting this spreadsheet straightened out, and it has all my use, and this is all, you know, recreation.gov, and this was a really nice trip. I stayed in some really nice places. The miles estimated was 1506. Actual miles was 1643. So I drove around quite a lot. I mean, it's not like me to sit still. But the estimated gas prices were $481, and what we really spent was only $424. So that was a nice surprise. Is that the gas in Illinois was $389, and the gas in Kentucky and Tennessee was $309. So that's 80 cents difference per gallon. And here's the campground costs, the actual campground costs. So campgrounds were $221 for a total trip of just under $700 for 14 days of running around. So that is my spreadsheet. I hope you enjoyed this. If you've been with me all this time, I want you to know that this was a 4-day adventure in making this video, and it was originally 2.5 hours, and I cut down every pause and every ramble, and it's like there are over 260 edits in this video. So the nice thing is I send this itinerary to my sons and my mother and everybody so they know where I am. As a note, that trip to Michigan is estimated out at $1,516, and that's a rough estimate because I'm sure we'll be doing a lot of running around and paying. If you're thinking about solar, some of this trip will be using solar way up there, which is way above the 45th parallel. So that's a long way from the sun. So we'll see how the solar works, and we'll be running a heater and a furnace and all sorts of things up there. So we'll really be taxing the lithium batteries. So make sure you see when this video comes out. And the next video I got coming up is about solar. I had some problems with my solar and how I fixed it and what it's doing. So if you're thinking about solar, watch the next video because that'll be just on solar. So thanks for watching. Think about donating to this trip. There's the donate button in the description below. There's the thanks button over here on the screen. I appreciate you watching. That gives me a couple of cents anyways. And if enough people watch and subscribe, then YouTube gives me a few dollars. Although they're pretty stingy these days. But thanks again, folks. I'll see ya on the road. Bye-bye. $1,560. Let's see. The baby trip, going to baby to Syracuse, $700.